Hello, I'm back. So I'm coming to you today because I'm realizing that I am holding two entirely different worlds in my body at once. In my body, in my spirit, in my heart, in my mind. One world is one that feels genuinely terrifying. The other, however, is the future that I'm still feeling brave enough to journey towards. If I'm honest, on most days, my nervous system is in an absolute tizzy trying to vacillate between the two and to navigate this thing called life. Like, where do I put it all? So if you're new here, my name is Monique R. Shields, and I'm an executive coach to incredibly ambitious, incredibly accomplished, and just wholehearted, wonderful human beings, women who are changing the world. And right now, in my personal journey and growing my business and living this life, I am I'm in the middle of something that feels both exhilarating and overwhelming. I am growing professionally. My business is expanding in new ways. I'm showing up visibly in new ways. My leadership is evolving, it's elevating, and I'm excited to get to know the version of me that is blossoming from that place. And at the same time, the world is unstable. It's a dumpster fire. My children are growing. My body at 42 is changing. My marriage matters. My community matters. And I had this revelation, this realization that kind of stopped me in my tracks, which is that I'm not weak in all of this. That's not why I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed because I'm holding it all with no place for it to all go. One of the things that I have come to learn through the experience of my coaching practice, I think in earnest, the work that I do with women that hire me to be intimately involved in their personal growth, their lives, their work, their passions, their dreams, and their fears, and their insecurities. They're holding a lot. And what they have taught me in playing the support role that I do for them, being in their corner and helping them strategize and navigate through it all, is that I am one of the containers in their life, and that we all need containers. We were never, as I said before, meant to hold it all ourselves, that we need to hold things together in partnership with not just, our life partner, our spouse or whatever, not just our one best friend, not just our mama or whoever is our sort of family bestie, if you're fortunate enough to have that, but that we need many containers in this life. Where are you putting your fear? Where are you putting your grief? Where are you putting your ambition? Where are you putting all of the logistical responsibilities that you hold? Where are you putting your longing? You're longing for a better future. You're longing for what you dream of. All of it just can't live inside of one body. It cannot live inside of you. And you be expected to tend to it all by yourself. But unfortunately, that's what many of us are doing. We're trying to carry the state of the world, the future for our children, the fitness goals that we have for tending to the health in our bodies, the marriages, the partnerships, the finances, your life is actually too much for you to hold. The way that modern life exists today, it is actually too much. And it cannot all exist in our heads. It has to come out of our bodies, out of our mouths, into our communities. And if not, we're going to experience the negative impacts of where it all spills out and leaks where it's not supposed to. So this connects for me to an experience I had in the last, I guess it was maybe 2 years ago now, when I hired a professional organizer. This is I feel like at once the most mundane kind of place to have learned this lesson, but also an extremely privileged place to be in a position where I could hire somebody to come and help me organize a couple of spaces in my home, namely my garage, honey. But also we redid my daughter's room, and underneath the stairs, we have a big storage closet that was getting a little crazy. So I was working with this woman and I learned so much from her. I talk about this in my masterclass called the Self-Investment Blueprint. If you want to learn more about what that experience is like, this is not what this video is about. I'll put the link in the description box. But I learned a lot about not just my home and organizational systems and the psychology of like how we interact and engage with our spaces. I also just learned a lot about me. There's like these incredible analogies that I've been able to draw from that one experience, and it had nothing to do with where things go in a closet. She said, when things don't have a place to live, they start living everywhere. What does that look like in our homes? When something doesn't have a place to go, where does it live? Well, it's going to show up on your calendar because the thing is still here. So it's got to go somewhere. It's just going to go where it maybe doesn't belong. So the next thing you know, your counters are cluttered up. The floor has things on it because there's no drawer, there's no space, there's no shelf that's designated. The stuff just ends up becoming clutter in all the wrong places. And I think our psyches work the exact same way. I am no psychologist, but I think this is kind of common sense when we think about needing places for the things that are piling up in our minds to go. When your emotions, your fears, your dreams, your musings, when they don't have a place to go, they just end up cluttering every other area of your life. They're going to spill over into your dreams. Hello, not sleeping well. They're going to spill over into your relationships. Hello, feeling lost and not connected, or maybe not feeling like you're in the right community. They're going to start cluttering up your focus. We're all of us walking around here talking about this brain fog, and no wonder. What I know is that a lot of us are trying to evolve multiple aspects of our identities right now at the exact same time. I know that that is the anxiety that I feel trapped in day to day, that I work myself out of with the tools that I have and with the support systems that I have, but it's still a lot. Like, you cannot be shooting towards becoming the greatest mother, the greatest business owner, the greatest professional in your field, the greatest friend, the best daughter, and also the best now agent of change in our society, the best, civic servant, the most honest partner, the best woman, like, I think that it is admirable to always strive for being expressed in your highest, your most capable, your most alive self, always pushing the envelope towards how can I become more of who it is that I'm trying to become. I want to be fully expressed in the world in such a way that when my days come to an end, that I can look back and say, I do not regret not doing the things that really mattered, not placing my focus where it would matter most. I think that that's incredibly admirable, but I think that the other thing to recognize in that process where we have to give ourselves grace is that these are not just work streams. These are literally like identity transformations. These are becoming a new version of yourself, which requires a lot of things to die off at the same time. There's like all of this grieving, all of this reckoning, all of this confronting that is taking place in this process of trying to be in all of these different areas of our life simultaneously. And we feel particularly stretched because the world is falling to shit, or because something big is going on with our children, or something huge is happening within our bodies, that like showing up with the courage, the bravery, the creativity, the strength, like whatever it is that you're trying to cultivate most, and to be that woman across all of those areas, even two at a time, which is where I feel like 2 or 3 right now, I feel particularly stretched in, is a lot. It's a lot to place on yourself. And the fact of the matter is that you were never meant to do that alone. We cannot do that alone. We have to attach ourselves to community. We have to attach ourselves to other women who are, hey girl, you and me, we're figuring out this new relationship to our health. Let's go. Or it might be a fitness group or a coaching program, or whatever it is that you need to do to get yourself engaged and connected with somebody else that can be in it with you, because it is too much to have to navigate alone. And I also just think that we deserve to benefit from the normalizing of the inevitable strife, meaning I need to see that it is not just me that is feeling how tough this is, that that is part of the process, and I can see that in somebody else to help normalize this experience so that I don't have to trend into panic as I'm moving towards whatever these particular goals are. I also want to make sure that I'm creating a lot of space for the conversation around the systemic impact around all of this. Like, the fact of the matter is, if we did not live in an urban sprawl where we had to get in cars and sit at desks, and like that corporations have been set up the way they are and work cultures have been designed to be as sedentary as they are. If we actually had lives that required our daily movement, we wouldn't have to create a separate line item in our literally in our budget for the fitness classes that we're taking, for the Peloton that we done bought, for the personal trainer that we done hired. Hello, amen. I love my personal trainer. Like we wouldn't I wouldn't need to do that. We wouldn't even need to look to YouTube professionals necessarily to teach us how to move our bodies and to try to find ways to stay fit inside of the sedentary, like homeostasis, the baseline existence of people in our society, and that are striving towards professional advancement behind these laptops. Get the ASMR. Our striving towards that is in direct conflict with our striving towards having a fit, healthy body that moves all day long. My hips are not locking up because I have to squat down, because that's the way that my life is designed. I'm lifting things, I'm doing things. And so just never also forgetting that piece in all of this, that you're not deficient. I say this all the time. You are not deficient. This is how things have been set up without centering our humanity, without centering what is healthiest for a human body as we work. Other countries and societies have figured out, I think, different ways to be better at this. But in America, child, it's the pits. But I think what I'm really learning through all of this in this season is that I don't have to become stronger. Like, strength is not my issue. Strength is not the issue for the women that I work with. I'm constantly telling them this, but I think some moments in life I forget that that lesson also applies to me. I think like I don't realize I'm being strong. I'm doing that thing again, you know, trying to be the Black woman mama superhero, and we got to set that thing down and recognize that, oh, there's a container that's missing in my life. There's a community, there's a space, there is a resource that is missing in my life that is causing me to feel this abundance of overwhelm, that I need to find places where I can go with my fear, that I need to find places that I can go with my ambition, right? I have a business coach. I've been working with on and again, off again for like 5-6 years now. I need a place where my grief can go. I need a place where my dreams, my desires can go. Like, there needs to be space held for all of these parts of us. And I think that this is kind of the shortcut, the cheat code into getting it all done. I think some of the people that I know who are incredibly efficient, they're the kind of folks you look to and you're saying like, man, how does she do it? How is she getting all of these things done? They are relentlessly doing two things, honestly. One, this is a little bit of a tangent, but it's related. They are relentlessly examining their patterns, examining their workflows, their work streams, seeing and testing, measuring, and then iterating, constantly taking the extra time to think through, write out the plan, taking the time after they've executed the thing to retro with themselves, to actually constantly take the additional moment to get above the process and to tend to look at it before, during, and after, to take measurement before, during, and after. That's the next additional level of work that I really think that helps set folks apart. But the other thing that they do is that they don't let a question fly by them. They do not tolerate not understanding things that they want to understand. They don't tolerate feeling lost in things that they don't want to be lost in, and will relentlessly pursue the support. I am going to text the friend of mine who I know is incredibly good at providing me emotional support during a time when I feel emotionally spent. I feel emotionally beat down. I don't hesitate, because I go and get what I need. I'm constantly saying this to my clients as well, is like, girl, get what you came for. Come and get what you need. I have clients who they've already invested to work with me at a really high level. And part of the work that we're doing is in the container that they're already in. We have contracts in place. The work is there. Like, I am at their disposal. I am on the team, right? I am on the team. Them tapping me and insisting upon the support that we've already agreed to. I think that you have those sort of silent contracts with the people in your life who are closest to you, where you have built some trust with. And we need to tap into those a bit more. And we also have to figure out where are the people that we need to hire, because our friends and our spouses and our besties, and like, they can't be always the place for everything because their expertise is limited. Their strengths are limited. We have to look for where the gifts lie. And sometimes, you know, it's just time to go scouring, scouring the earth for the gifts that you need in any given moment. And I definitely see that as like one of the greatest strengths of people, again, who are accomplishing a lot and continue to do so. They just don't tolerate not getting what they need. They drop stuff into their group chats. They have a question on their mind. They go and get it from people that recognize that there have to be other containers to place this thing. I'm sitting with some fear. I'm sitting with some anxiety. I'm about to go do this big thing. I'm going to find the person who has done something as close to it as possible, or someone who I think might know, or is just generally kind of plugged in and who could connect me to somebody else. Like sitting with our pain, sitting with our confusion and tolerating it is one of the biggest mistakes that I think we make. And it's easy to do because we're raised in this culture, especially again, very American culture, where it is hyper individualistic and it is all about like, why don't you have the resources to take care of everything that you need in life, despite the fact that all these systems are set up against you to make you fight harder for basic necessities than anybody should have to, especially in a nation as wealthy as this one that has stolen everything from all over the world. We're not going to get into that, right? So if you're feeling overwhelmed, scattered, strangely exhausted, the way that I think I've been experiencing myself, up and down, up and down, up and down through the highs and lows of this season that I'm in, with growing in my leadership and in my work, and also trying to stretch into new leadership and work in my community, figuring out what my role is, as I shared in a previous video, in a society that feels like there's no sitting on the sidelines anymore, and me feeling the pressure to do both. It's like, okay, well, that too, I should do unalone. I don't need to figure that out by myself. And I am taking steps, and I'm excited to share more about that piece. Y'all let me know in the comments if you want to hear more about that. But finding ways to make sure that I'm doing that with a sense of togetherness in community. I want anybody watching this video to just recognize that you are not broken, that the breaking in the process of the building, in the process of trying to do so many things is like, it's supposed to be there, but you yourself are not broken. You yourself are not deficient. You're just full, and you're solo, and we've got to place those things places. And I have an upcoming retreat. This is not a sales pitch at all. The retreat will be, I think I'll be closing out registration before this even airs, I think. But I'm thinking of the purpose of that retreat in a very different way now than when I think I initially conceptualized it. And I'm seeing the urgency around ensuring that the women who come there truly lean into all these different aspects of their lives and work, and leaning into coming to get exactly what they need, not allowing themselves to walk away from that retreat, not just to come get some naps and to rest or whatever. It's a more of a mastermind retreat anyway, but to walk away both with plans and strategies for what to build, but also with whom, within what containers, the containers that they will enter or that they will create or that they will ingratiate themselves into, but just to make sure that all of the areas of their lives and what they're holding in their hearts, that there's a place for it all. What I want to believe is that I don't have to choose between caring about the world and caring about my life. You can hold both because we have to hold both. We just have to do it on alone. And I want that for all of us. I hope the lighting has held up for this video at the end of the day. And, doing the best I can with what I got. I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Bye.